Okay, we're asked to sketch the graph of a piecewise function. So we have our piecewise function here, and f of x equals x squared if x is less than 0, and then it equals 1 minus x if x is greater than 0. So let's look at these graphs. We're given to choose which one. And let's look where x is less than 0. So that means we're looking from -1 to the left. So from 0, -1 to the left. We want to look at all those. Well, what is this first graph? Well, that's an x squared. And that's a parabola. If you can remember what an x squared looks like. If not, you can kind of put in some numbers less than 0. Can't use 0 because there's not a line underneath it. So if I put -1 in here, I get 1. So if I put -1, oh, well, it's not the first one. If I put -1 in, could be this one. -1, could be this one. -1 is going to be still -1. -1 is 1. All right, so now we've narrowed it down to 2. So we know it's not this one. And we know it's not this one. So we can cross those off. Now we can narrow it down. And actually, I can answer it at this point because since x is less than 0, f of x equals x squared, that means it's not equal to. There's no equal to underneath that. So that means my dot has to be open. So this one's open, but this one is not open. So it has to be this particular graph. And we can go on and check a little more. This particular graph, since there's not an A, B, C. And we can double check that by putting a number greater than 0, 1. So if I put 1 in to this, 1 minus 1 is 0. So put 1 in, and what do I get? 0. If we put 2 in, that's 1 minus 2, which would be -1. So at 2, we should be on -1. But this one's the same. So really the only differences between the graph we chose and this one are those dots. So they've got to be those open dots just because we don't have the equals underneath this.